Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Yo. Welcome to Just Jermaine podcast. I'm here today with Damian Taylor.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
So D, let me ask you a question, man. A lot of people don't understand the Rise album.
Right.
I remember when you came in, when you called me up and was like, man, I need for you to engineer this album I'm about to do. And I asked you, I said, what's the title of the album? And you said Rise. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, man.
Tell the people. I want you to tell the people exactly what you told me so they can understand from a producer, which is yourself, songwriter, which is yourself. You wrote the songs, you produced the songs. And by the way, you can go get the Rise album on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, whatever you want. Go get it. And that is Rise, R-I-S-E by Damian Taylor. It's everywhere, so go get it now. And
go get it.
So when you called me and you told me about this record, it was so motivational, and it was so motivational to hear why you was doing it. Now, for everybody out there in the podcast world, I want y'all to understand this. Damian is about to tell you the story behind this album, and then I'm gonna tell you why it's important to understand where the artist is coming from and why you need to know where they're coming from.
All right. So when I first brought the idea to Jermaine, I wanted the album to be different from any other album that was in the gospel industry. You know, I wanted to have a different sound, and I wanted to reach a different generation. You know, this generation that we are fostering now and bringing up, you know, is so different. You know, it takes a different sound, takes a different style to reach them, and so I wanted it to be a mixture of songs that could reach everybody in this generation. You know, from the young kid that's in high school to the middle-aged person that's, you know, 30, 35 and up, the young transitioning young adult from 21 to 30. You know, I wanted to reach everybody, and I wanted to bring love back into music. I wanted to talk about Christian relationships, so you know, I needed a specific type of sound. You know, I wanted the sound real intimate, real up close to your face. So all that was important, you know, for me to tell Jermaine when I first talked about the album, because now he has to know, okay, how do I have to engineer it? How do I have to approach it? You know, he said that he want an up-close sound, he want an intimate sound, he want a more modern sound. So now I have to know, you know, how to EQ his voice, you know, what compressors, what EQs I need to look for. So that was pretty much the story behind it, man. And it just blasted off from there, man. So yeah.
And to top off that, when D came to me with the Rise album, if I'm not mistaken, D, it means reach, inspire, sustain, and employ, correct?
Right. Absolutely.
Just those 4 words alone tells me that the people need to hear the message. They need to hear more of him than the snares and the bass line. So that's what I did. I made his vocals pop and I made them stand out. Now, how did I do that? That depends on D. Some days he come in. I seen times we recorded songs and his voice wasn't right.
Oh man,
sinuses was acting up. Sinuses acting up. So we had to repeat so many pieces. Like he would sing the song all the way through and nail it. but his sinuses will make him mispronounce a lot of words.
Oh yes.
So,
oh my God.
There's a couple
I'm telling you.
there's a couple songs where we had to punch them in bar by bar. It takes longer to do it that way, but we wanted to perfect the song without losing anything behind it, and so people can still get the messages that was within the songs.
Right, and I think we did that so much that when we opened up a new session for a new song, it was like, okay, boom, we're gonna automatically take this bar by bar. We did it so much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We ain't waste no time. We just like, okay, we're not gonna go through a whole song once. We're gonna do this line by line, bar by bar. You know, because we wanna make this thing perfect. We wanna capture every expression, every detail. We wanna make sure everything's perfect. So yeah, man. Oh my God. That's absolutely right. People don't understand, man. It's a lot of work. It ain't just going in there and just, laying it down. You're trying to capture something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the thing is to capture the moment. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this podcast now, is so people can understand the moments that we had inside of the studio, so they can understand the journey of your story. And not only they hear about your glory, which is the finished product, but they get the story to go with it. So people can understand why you did it like this and why you did it like that. So when they do hear the music, they got a better understanding of where you coming from, and then they're able to relate to it. Now, back in the day, we used to have interludes that introduced a song. So you can so you can know what that song is about to be about before you even hear it. So you can listen to the interlude and be like, you know what? I think I might want to hear what he talking about. Because sometimes you can listen to a song and you just don't get it. But with this type of music on this Rise album, man, he got a song up there called Best Friend, My Baby. Come on, man. I mean, he got some bangers up there, man. Like, and what's so bad about it? The dude... all right, hold on. Y'all gonna hear some clicking in a minute. Hold on. Y'all, you can hear a little bit of you can hear a little bit of clicking, and that's because I'm going through my archives right quick. I'm gonna go through my archives, and I'm gonna tell y'all, Damian just dropped his album this year, and
yeah, man, and while he's doing that, another unique thing about the album and a lot of people's album is that. Those songs, a lot of the songs on my album are extremely, extremely old. Like, I'm talking about, I wrote those songs some 5 years ago, some 8 years ago.
Right. That's exactly what I was about to get into, about how old this stuff was. And what's so bad about it?
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking at another folder where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there were 17 songs that didn't even make the album. So you got to understand, how many is up there right now? About 9, about 10?
10 tracks on the album, and 17 didn't make it.
17 to make it. We cut 27 records for this one album. And people don't believe that. Look, they take like that. Like I did some researching, and I found out that Michael Jackson used to cut 100 records per album.
Yes.
100 records per album. So for y'all that's listening, be like, God knows they cut 27 and only picked 10, bruh.
Only picked 10.
I don't even know what we're gonna do with these, but you got Rise to My Call, 200%. I Do It, Knight in Shining Armor, Lucky Me, Always Be There, Bestie, Christ First, He will Never Leave You. I Gotta Praise Him, It's My Year. Then we got My Baby, the old version, because he redid it with redid all the production over. He loved the song. Now, he loved the song. Now, My Baby, the old version was 2013.
Wow.
We did the first version of that song in 2013. And D didn't like it. He came back. He said, "Nah, man, I need a better sound. I love the lyrics, but I need a better sound." So he went and redid the whole entire production. Same tempo.
We did the whole entire thing. Yep.
Same tempo. He sent me the production, all the instruments back. But he took his engineer's advice when I told him that the way you felt when you created this music is not how you felt when you sung it in 2013. I said you got to redo it. So we went back and redid it. Then you got No Lies, No Games, Search the World,
oh, man.
Step in the Ring, Transformation. And there was 2 of those because you changed the tempo and then redid it. And then you got You Stole My Heart, the dubstep version.
Bro, oh my God. Let me tell you, man. that goes to tell you, man, like you can have the greatest song in the world. But if you don't have the right production, if you don't have the right engineering, it doesn't mean anything. And it's not going to come out it's not going to be expressed in the way that you want to express it and the way that it needs to be received by people.
Right.
You know, I'm telling you, and on the flip side of that, you write songs, you know, if you're a songwriter, you probably have 1,000 songs that you've written, but it's all about releasing that song at the right time as well. Because, you know, some of those songs, they were dope, but either it wasn't the right time to release them, you know, that sound wasn't the sound that the industry needed at that time, or they needed to hear from you. Or another thing is, you know, I felt like my production and my skills hadn't evolved to the point where I could actually make that song hot. You know, so over the years, we got so much better with our craft, so much more advanced. We invested in ourselves. We invested in our equipment. I mean, I stepped in the studio and Jermaine had $1,000 equipment in there. I'm like, whoa, this dude is like really investing in himself, man. And I mean, it just took off from there, and everything came together because it was the right time, you know, with the right people, with the right equipment, and everything falls in line, man. Wow. I'm just blown away. I totally forgot about all of those songs you just named.
Man.
Every last one of them.
Dude, 17 songs didn't make this album. I can't believe.
Wow.
See, and as the average person, they go into the studio, they write 10 songs, they bring in 10 beats, they write 10 songs and say, boom, there's my album. No, right. No. You cannot do it like that. Because you put that out and then now the world is going to hear those 10 songs. But what if 8 of those songs is garbage?
Right. Absolutely.
So what if they hit at the wrong time? Let me explain wrong timing. LMA.
Right.
Little Nas X. They came up with Boot Up and the Old Town Road. But what y'all don't know is that those songs was actually out a whole year ago.
Whole year.
They just hit. They was out a year before they actually hit. It was all about timing.
Yep.
So you think about it. You making an album that's going to be about love or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just use love for right now. I'm going to use love because it ain't enough of it showed in this world.
Uh-huh.
So you want to make an album about that. You made 15 songs. Only 7 of them is related to your title. But you want to put out a 10-track album. Guess what? Now you got to go cut 10 more records.
I cut 10 more records to get 3 more songs.
Just to get 3 more songs. Now, the thing is about this is that 4 or 5 years from now, the sound may change again. And now here it is. You already got a record that's completed.
Right.
That may hit 4 or 5 years from now.
Right.
You just probably got to go in and do some small tweaking. That's what happened to about 2 or 3 of these tracks that you did, where we did these tracks in 2013. Bro, that was 6 years ago.
Yep.
And we just now putting them out on the album. Now the album is dope. I mean, I remember when D hit me up and said, yo, check this video out. The video, it was a link, and it was cats in Kentucky, break dancing in the middle of the street to one of those records. I'm like, bruh, that is crazy.
They had a cardboard on the street and everything. I was like, man, they took it back in the day.
Took it back.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tell you how dope this thing is. You Stole My Heart. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that was one of my favorite records on it. Now, You Stole My Heart is driven, that junk, it's almost like some house music almost.
Yeah.
But this man is saying, God, you stole my heart. Who?
Yeah.
How many people you know write about God, telling God, you stole my heart from everything? And then you go follow that up with best friend, telling God, you my best friend. But if I'm not mistaken, was it All Day? There was breakdancing too. Was it All Day? No, matter of fact,
it was All Day.
Was it All Day?
All Day.
Or was it? Or was it 200%?
Yeah, it was All Day because Jermaine actually sent me the video. He was like, man, my kids are going crazy out here to your song. And I was like, my song? What song are you talking about? And he sent me the video. It was All Day. And it was in the middle of the street. They were doing all kind of like making up their own dances to it and everything. I mean, it was crazy.
I'm trying to tell you,
that was
man.
real dope to see.
But I remember when we tested the waters with 200%. And 200% is not even on the album.
It's not, and it's a dope song.
It's a real dope song. But because it didn't fit Rise, it didn't fit Rise. But it's gonna, trust me, it's gonna come out on a different album. But it just didn't fit this one. But when he dropped 200%, I'm gonna tell you what happened with 200%. He performed it one time. I got a random phone call and said, guess what? You guys have been nominated for the North Carolina Inspiration Music Awards for the North Carolina Underground Music Awards. I said, what? Yeah. And they had D on stage performing the song. And that's that song was that type of hit, didn't even make this album.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you about the rest of these records that's on this album?
All right.
I'm gonna let y'all. Are you talking about a song that was nominated for an Inspiration Music Award and it didn't make the album?
That's crazy.
We're gonna put it out. It's gonna drop. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That song is gonna drop. It's just gonna drop on another album where he wants to be more up tempo. How do I know this? Is because I'm his engineer, and this is what D was talking about earlier, is having that relationship with your engineer. So artists, all the artists that's listening, I'm gonna drop a nugget on you. Find you an engineer that knows you.
Yes, absolutely. Stick with an engineer.
Stick with him. And notice, I didn't say know your music.
Right.
I said that knows you.
Yeah.
He's an engineer, so he already know what he's doing. But when he has a relationship with you and he knows you, it makes it that much easier for him to mix because now he's a step ahead of you. D can tell me to stop a song and I would speak exactly what he was just thinking. And he was the one that told me to stop the song. In the middle of recording, you'd be like, no, pause, hold on right quick. And I'm like, yo, it'll sound better if you did like this. He'd be like, yo, I was just about to say that.
Yep. Yep. Or he would stop the song and he'd be like, I think you should do that part. And I would be like, man, I was just when to say that. I need to do that part.
That's the crazy part. Chemistry. You gotta have that chemistry. When you got that chemistry, man, just like with Jay-Z and Guru. Guru mix all Jay-Z stuff. He mix all his stuff. He produces a lot of stuff for him. But Jay-Z stick to the same producers. He stick with Guru, Just Blaze, Swiss Beats, Pharrell, and Timbaland. And I think he what's the other guy name that made 99 Problems? Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
Them the people that Jay-Z stick. That's who he stick to because they know him. Yeah. They know him. They know what he want. So he don't have to soul search and Kanye West back in the day before they had their little issue. But the thing was, they knew Jay. They knew Jay. They knew what Jay wanted. So it was that much easier for them to just, when Jay came to the studio, he was like, I don't know if y'all seen the video, but Jay was like, Timberland was playing beats for him. But then he turned around and said, "You got some bounce?" And what the Timberland started laughing and said, "The bounce coming up." It was exactly what Jay wanted. It was exactly what he wanted. Because he was like, Jay had that face like, man, why you ain't play this first? Because I'm telling you, beat makers, what they do is they try to convince the artist, I have more craft. I want you to listen to everything else I did. I have what you want, but I want you to listen to everything else I did.
Right. But it's so important, man. That chemistry is so important. That familiarity is so important because, and to all the engineers out there, please listen to this. Please, because this is the one thing that I run into. I haven't worked with a lot of engineers because, like I said, I stick with Jermaine and him. I've been doing music together for over 10 years. But when I have worked with other engineers, the problem that I encountered was they didn't inquire about me and how I like to do things, So when I got in the studio, I was very uncomfortable, and I was thinking so much because I'm trying to tell you how I want things done and give you the emotion in the song at the same time. And for a singer, that's tough. Engineers, listen. Make your artist as comfortable as possible. Like, I never forget, I used to come to the studio with Jermaine, and when I walked in, number one, the section was already created. He already had all the plugins that I like pulled up, my favorite EQs on, a bottle of water in the booth, sometimes 2 bottles of water, because he already know my sinus is going to be acting up and my throat was going to be a little bit raspy. So I had 2 bottles of water in the booth already. They had the AC on, so the place was cool. I mean, it was comfortable. So all I had to focus on was performing in that booth. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to worry about, oh man, it's so hot in here. I didn't have to worry about, hey, where's some water? Can I get some water? I'm comfortable. I can focus, and I can go in the booth and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important for not only the engineer to know the artist musically, but to know the artist as a person. He knew I had sinuses. Like your normal engineer doesn't know that about the artist, or even looks into that. When it comes to recording an artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for the engineer to make the artist comfortable. Number one, and another thing that I think we kind of learned over the years is that, I know I learned from the engineer standpoint, not only know how the flow of a session, like know how the artist wants the session to go. For an example, I like to do stuff quick. When an idea come to my head, I'm ready to go. So Maine will be like, he'll have that punch button ready, that punch in button ready, and he quick with it because he know, okay, D got this idea in his head. We got to get this idea out, you know what I'm saying, before it leaves.
Right.
So after I lay out one part, boom, he already done cleaned that up, and he ready to go for me to punch in the next part. You know what I'm saying? He knows his program well. That's another thing. You have to know your program. Just choose one program. They pretty much all do the same thing. Even though, we love Pro Tools, but everybody likes what they like. But stick with one program, learn that program inside and out, so that when you work with different artists, you as an engineer, you can meet their workflow. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I'm telling you, like Jermaine would be. It'd be so funny, man. All you hear is, like, what is he doing out there? He's going so fast because he knows that I'm fast, and I like to go ahead and get stuff done. And when I have an idea in my head, I like to go ahead and put it down. So yeah, man, engineers, learn your artists, man. Make them comfortable, man. You know, and I'm sure, Jermaine, you can speak from the engineer standpoint of how important it is for workflow and knowing your program. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. You got to know your program. You got to know your tools. That's just like you asking somebody to build you a house, but they don't know how to work that hammer. Yeah.
Right.
How they going to build you a house? You going to go in that mug, the first gust of wind come, you going to blow that mug around the ground. See, you don't want to fail like that.
Right.
It's very important to know your peers. You got to know the people that you're working with. So you get your engineer, you stick with the engineer, y'all learn each other. You know how your engineer functions. You know how the artist functions. Same thing as your producers. I mean, with producers, because with producers, it's a little bit different because some people work with different producers, some don't. Some work with one, some work with different ones to get a different sound. But like we said about Jay-Z, he has a group of producers, but he don't go outside of that. He sticks with them.
Right.
He sticks with that group. And that's what's good. So you find you a group of producers so you can keep getting different sounds and you stick to that. Now,
that's right.
From a songwriter standpoint, how important it is for a songwriter to come to the studio 100% ready and knowing the song better than anybody else.
Oh, man. That is so intricate in the process. Because as a songwriter, you know how you wanted that song to sound when you first wrote it. You know the emotion that you wanted to portray in the song. So you know how it needs to be sung. If it needs to be sung harsh or soft, or, you know, if it needs to be sexy, if it needs to be dark, you know, so you know the song better than anybody. You know the lyrics, you know the flow of the song, the format. So when you go in the studio with the artist, you can tell the artist and teach the artist about the song, not just how to sing it, but the message of the song. So that is very, very important. And I think it needs to be more songwriters in studio sessions as well.
It does. It does. Technically speaking, in a studio session, of course, you got your engineer, you got your artist, but it needs to be the producer and the songwriter.
Absolutely.
And one random Joe Blow that throws out a good idea every now and then when you need one and everybody else ain't got it. But that random Joe Blow that listens to music all the time usually be like, yo, what if you did what T.I. did and this, you know, remember that song that T.I. did when he did this? I think that sounds good. Then you be like, you know what? You might be right. You know what I'm saying? You need that one random guy. You need your producer, your engineer, and your songwriter. You need that group right there by itself. And then you guys can feed off of each other's energy in the studio.
Yes.
So when the artist is performing, the songwriter can tell the artist where their mindset was when they wrote it.
Absolutely.
And it's now I'm going to dive into this one a little bit because I know a lot of people don't do this. And this is one thing I do, and Damian can vouch for me on this. I play with the people emotions. When I know when you're creating a song and you need the performance to be emotional, I would literally stop the song and talk and have a regular conversations with you. See, this is things. See, while I'm dropping nuggets on y'all because the people don't know about this part here.
Right.
Only the people that's in the studio know about this conversation. Let's say you want an emotional. Let's say you did a song about your mom's or whatever, who has passed away, and you wanted to write a song about your mama. When you perform that song, before you even start singing or opening up your mouth, you sit down and you stand up in front of that microphone. You close your eyes and you think about those moments you had with your mom before she passed, or father,
Absolutely.
sister, brother, whoever that important person is to you. You think about those moments, and when your emotions started getting the best of you and you started feeling it in your chest, that's when you say, engineer, hit that button. And you let it out. You let it out on that track. See, this is stuff that people be like, yo, Beyonce sung that song, but they don't know how Beyonce got that emotional inside of that song either. Same thing with Whitney Houston, Jennifer Hudson. You look at these amazing singers out here and look at how they make this. And the best people, oh, God knows the best people at doing this is church folk. Church people can always bust a move and think about God and something good that he done in their life and just start crying. Now they all emotional now. So now it is super easy for them to just jump up and just say, you know what? I'm about to sing a hole in this song. I'm about to sit here and think about everything God did for me. And the whole song is about what God did for me. And you know you've been through something. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So engineers, producers, you put that artist in that same mindset so they can perform it like you hear it in your head. Because anybody can get in there and say, and just sing a song, you know what I'm saying? Just 2-3 bars and just walk out and say, I did a good job. But it's emotionalist. And that's why most of the songs don't mean nothing anymore.
Right. And then to piggyback off of that, it's the difference between, and I want everybody to hear this, is the difference between emotion and expressing.
Go ahead and elaborate right quick.
You can express something, but your emotion isn't in it. Like if you're mad, you can express that you're mad. Hey, I'm mad. But when you put that emotion behind it, man, I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? You can express. The expression is just the acknowledgement of the emotion. You know what I'm saying? The emotion is the action of carrying it out. So you gotta. It's a difference between going in the booth and just expressing yourself. Anybody can express themselves, but we want to hear the emotion with the expression. You know what I'm saying?
Nuggets.
So it's a difference.
Nuggets. That was a nuggets.
I'm telling you, man. That emotion is important, man. It makes or breaks the song, man. I mean, you think about all of the especially the trap songs that come out right now. Like, they put a lot of emotion. It's a different type of emotion. It's a hype emotion.
Right.
But the song, when you hear it, they get you hyped because they're hyped in the booth. They put the emotion in the song.
Perfect example.
You know.
Perfect example right here. Listen to, I'm about to give you 2 hype songs. Listen to Amigos. You got the Migos, right? Bad and Bougie. Bad and Bougie. That's expression.
Yeah.
That's expression.
Yeah.
They're expressing that they're crunk and bad and bougie, blah, blah. But then you got Lil Jon and the East Side Boy. Yeah! You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got them boys, they showing that emotion, like I'm real crunk in this mug. You know what I'm saying? Like, bustle head open, you know what I'm saying? Them cats, when you heard their song, like when you hear Bad and Bougie, when you hear, no disrespect to the Migos, but if they play y'all song around a crowd of people, they start dancing, right? They start dancing a little bit. They'll dance like the first minute of the song, and the next thing you know, they stop. But when they play Lil Jon, some little scrappy East Side Boys and all that down south dirty music, you talking about cats ready to fight. These cats is running around, pushing each other. And like, you broke a sweat when you listen to them guys, man. Like, you started sweating. It done turned into a full-blown workout listening to them.
Oh, yeah, it's lit. It's lit.
That's the type of emotion that D is talking about. Like, you gotta bring that. Like bring it. If you're gonna be hyping the song, then be hype. If you want the song to sound low, but hey, then be low. But when you go low, Be careful, because somebody that's depressed or going through depression hear your song, and there's nothing inside of that song that motivates them or help pick them up. It actually makes them worse. People, please understand power of music. I heard about this man. It was a man. I can't think of his name or where it was from, but it was on the news. Dude was basically he was sick. He was on his way out of here. He wasn't talking. He wasn't talking, nothing. They had him in a home. He wasn't reacting to nothing that they was doing for him. But so they went and bought him a headset, and they played, and they basically put on the CD, on the iPod, his favorite records from back in the day. Their music moved that man. They said the man was up singing and dancing, and every time you turned his music off, he was down.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's the power of music. So I'm trying to tell y'all, be careful at what you putting inside of your music, because at the end of the day, you don't know who's listening to your music.
Absolutely.
You don't know.
And music is everywhere. You know, I challenge everybody. If you can do this, if you can go to a place where there's no music, let me know. I've never found a place where there's no music. Even on your job, you know, you're on the phone with that person, you got to put that person on hold. There's music playing when you put that person on hold. There's music playing in a restaurant. There's music everywhere.
Right.
You go to the club, you go to the mall shopping.
In the elevator.
You know, in the elevator, hospitals. It's just everywhere.
Music is too important.
Because it's all about the emotion, man. You know, just like you have elevator music. They want you to have the emotion of riding the elevator. You know, that's why you have the music over the phone while you're waiting, because they want to have the emotion of music to occupy a person's mind while they're waiting over the phone.
Right.
You know, it's all about the emotion, man. It all ties back to the emotion, man. So that is a huge nugget, man. A lot of people miss when it comes to making records, man. They think your talent can only get you but so far. You know, you have to put the emotion in your records so that people can connect with you and your experience and your reason for writing the song.
Facts.
And that's what makes great records. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
With that being said, man, Damian, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It was an honor.
Thank you for having me, man. Yes.
It's an honor to be able to work with you, man, on these records, man. And again, everybody go to Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, Google Play. Whatever you own, you need to go download Rise today.
Yes.
So with that
download it, share it, everything, man.
Everything. Tell your friend to go download it.
Yes. I promise you will love it. It will change your life. It's an album that you can ride to with your friends. You can play, with your girl. I mean, it's so versatile, man, and it's a song up there for everybody. So, go cop that.
Hey, tell people your social media handles. So if they want to come to a show, find out what you're doing in the near future as far as music, and just let them know what they can do so they can become a fan.
Right. So my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle. I'm mainly at Instagram. I be on IG a whole lot, so you can find me at Taylor Made Fame. That is TaylorMadefame. Taylor Made Fame. Go follow me, keep up with me, man. I reveal a lot of things on my IG. New music, tour dates, performances, everything. So, go follow your boy.
Perfect. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. So for that time being, keep your ears open, keep your eyes closed, and only the real ones will understand it. Peace.